Here is 9 health facts that every single person needs to know. Number 1, only 12% or less of Americans are classified as actually healthy. And this number is probably similar around the Western world. So how do we get to that classification? Well, I remember seeing Dr. Paul Saladino, the carnivore MD, get interviewed about this, where some of the national institutes came up with a list of 5 things that meant you would be metabolically healthy or not if you passed all these things. So what are they? It's a blood pressure of 120/80 or better. It's HDLs, in the so-called good cholesterol for men being above 40, women being above 50, triglycerides under 150, and hemoglobin A1C under 5.7, and a waist circumference of less than 102 centimeters or 40 inches for men, and 88 centimeters or 36 inches for women. Now, how do we get to that 12% of people are healthy number? Only about 12% of people would pass all those things. Now, just because you can pass that doesn't mean you're definitely really healthy, but it certainly probably places you in the top 2 to 5% of people, and it's a great starting point if we're going to measure something. So that's fact number 1. Number 2, America is rated the most dangerous country in the Western world for maternal and day 1 infant mortality during the birth process. So what does that mean? There's about 50 so-called westernized countries, and America ranks dead last for how many mothers die or are greatly injured during childbirth, and how many infants die on day 1. Now, we're even behind some countries that are considered second and third world, like Latvia and some Eastern European countries like that. I often hear the excuse that, well, there's a lot of poor communities in this country where people aren't getting the right healthcare. And that is true. There's 100% true. And we fail our poor communities and homeless badly every single day. But the numbers are so bad in this country, we still can't use that as the full excuse. We intervene too much during childbirth, and we know from the research that one intervention is more than likely going to lead to another one, and each one you have greatly increases the chance of another one. There's even hospitals in California that have a stated mission statement of having 100% C-sections by a certain amount of time. That's absolutely repulsive, and I can't believe that that would be the goal of someone in medicine or healthcare. So what can we do about it? Well, you can find providers that are going to intervene the least. You can be as healthy as possible during pregnancy, and all of that's going to help. Fact number 3, this is being thrown around a lot lately. Even as recent as 25 years ago, or 23 years ago, let's go to the year 2000, a 65-year-old male at that time had about the same levels of testosterone as a 25-year-old right now. That's very, very shocking, because testosterone isn't meant to just be depleted this badly like it is for a lot of males. And there's so many reasons behind it. We're being bombarded with toxins and hormone receptor issues thanks to all these different cleaning products and medications and drugs and herbicides and everything else. There's the fact that so many men, especially in their younger years, are inside more under blue light. We're not exercising how we used to. We're eating crappy diets. We're getting all those seed oils. There's a whole host of things, but that should be frightening when we look at future fertility and future health, that testosterone is that bad. So we need to fix that. Another one to do with hormones, fact number 4, the American Academy of Pediatrics in the last few years actually shifted the normal starting time for what we'd call menses or puberty in females. So for many, many years, it was always stated that puberty should start between about 10 or 11 to 12 years of age. Hey, Dr. Rodney here. If you want to get my free PDF, 5 hacks for boosting your immune system, just go into the description of this video, click on the link, download it, and if you have any questions on it, just send me a message and I'll help you out with it. Now, depending on where you see some of these groups like the AAP define this, it's now being said it can start as young as 8 to 9. Now, just because something's common doesn't mean it should be normal. So we should be looking at why this is happening. And again, in my opinion, we go back to all the estrogen receptor issues we're having, or the estrogen disruptor chemicals that we're exposed to in cleaning products, in plastics, what's getting injected into our food, like into the chickens and things like that. There's so many factors, but instead we say, well, this is now common, so let's call it normal. That's not how it should work. While we're talking about food, did you know that 95% of USDA dietary guideline committee members have some kind of conflict of interest by being linked to food and pharmaceutical companies? The big names are normally like the Kellogg's, General Mills, things like that. just like in the pharma world, the food world buys people who are on these committees, or they get their own people put on the committees. And it's atrocious, and we should never have let our regulatory agencies be captured. Yet you'll be called a conspiracy theorist for even bringing that up. Now, it doesn't mean every single person on those committees is corrupt, but if you're taking bribes from the fox while you're guarding the hens, that doesn't really look good at the very least. Number 6, avoiding the sun is about as likely to kill you as smoking cigarettes, according to a lot of studies. Now, when I grew up in the 1980s in Australia, there was huge campaigns for the slip, slop, slap. Wear a t-shirt, wear a hat, wear a whole bunch of toxic sunscreen and cover yourself up. Now, you don't want to be out burning, especially if you have very fair skin in the middle of the day, in the middle of the heat, but you can build up sun tolerance and build what's called sun calluses, but you also don't want to avoid the sun. If you're very fair skin, get 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes at night, but we need the sunlight. Every living thing on this planet, other than the things that are in the depth of the ocean, needs sunlight. Our plants need it, animals need it. It helps us produce vitamin D, which is a steroid hormone that runs most of our immune system. It does so many things for us. And again, yes, let's not go to extremes and burn and fry and blister, but lathering yourself in toxic sunscreens isn't going to help, and avoiding it isn't going to help. While we're talking about things that are as likely to kill you as smoking cigarettes, sitting and being inside all day. These two things continue to be shown in the research that they're equally as bad. We don't move consistently enough. So if you're sitting inside all day under all the blue lights and artificial lights, even if you go to the gym for an hour at the end of the day, if you haven't got your butt up out of your chair and moved consistently, the gym isn't going to unwind all that damage. We have to get up and move. It helps our lymphatic system drain everything so we can move toxins. We've got to get outside. Some studies are showing 90 to 95% of Americans spend far too long indoors throughout the day. You have to find ways to break it up, even if you're working in an office. I mentioned seed oils before, but this is number 8. Seed oils are being shown that they're probably causing genetic changes to our body and to our brain. Some studies are showing they get into the DNA of the cells and are stuck in there creating damage for up to 600 days. And unlike things like sugar, you can't burn them off. Now, I will see sometimes people defend seed oils, saying, well, a lot of these studies are being done in mice, especially the ones showing that they cause dysregulation in a lot of our hormones like oxytocin. So literally stopping your ability to feel happiness and love and things like that. But I don't think I know anyone who wants to go and be that test dummy in a human study. So if you can show it in mice, it's probably not a good idea for us to be eating those nasty oils. There's so much damage that's being shown, it's crazy. And the last fact, number 9, a fairly recent study in a British journal, it's the British Journal of Sports Medicine, found that exercise is 1.5 times more effective than in treating mental health conditions like depression, anxiety, and distress than conventional treatments such as medication and therapy. 1.5 times, and that's just exercise. Now imagine what happens to depression, anxiety, all these things if you not just exercise, but you eat a really clean diet, you start healing any leaky gut issues and sealing the gut, you wipe out any parasites and candida and mold and anything else that's hijacking your brain and telling you to eat more garbage and getting your nervous system stuck in a fight-flight response. If you do all of those things, what percentage of people could come off antidepressants and all these antipsychotic drugs? I have no idea what the number is, but my guess is well over 90%, probably closer to 95%. Then if we also help people deal with past unresolved emotional traumas, you could probably get that number to 99.9% of people who aren't going to suffer with those mental health conditions. So that's just 9 amazing health facts I wanted to share. There are so many more, but if you followed those 9 things, you'd probably be that much healthier. So if you've made it this far, I always appreciate your attention. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos I release. And leave a comment if there's certain things you'd love to see me talk about and share information on. I'm always interested in what my viewers want to hear about, so I can talk about things that help you, not just things that I value.